Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon. Happy Monday. It's so
Hey,
nice.
Denise. Hi, sweetie.
It's so nice for us to be together with you today. Holly, Elisa Bruno, and myself, Denise Rokicki. We're here to, we were just discussing beforehand what our theme might be today, and we're here to create this safe place for you. That's what we want to do. And, I used to do that in my classroom, but I retired from that. So now I want to put my loving energy into creating this safe space for people. And I'm willing to, see my name there, Denise M. Rokicki. That's who I am on Facebook. And I'm willing to chat with you in a kind and safe way at any time that you have crisis or whatever you have.
Thank you, Denise. And you also do that when you do your story hours. How
I mean, I
great.
do, but I don't, I mean, I make a safe place for an hour, but making a safe place for a program year at
Mm-hmm.
Head Start, it's so huge. It's
It's huge.
so important. And today I just observed that from my ex coworkers. I donate story time, my little gig, once a month to the program that I used to work for, and before I retired.
Yeah.
And oh, today I just felt how much I miss it.
Well, let's talk about that, sweetie, because that's important. Because I just want to say thanks for introducing the program. We are trauma survivors walking each other home. We meet once a week to do this podcast. We do not script a thing. We just tell you the truth from the heart. And that's part of being a trauma survivor is I trust people when they say it, just say it. Don't have something made up or something they're reading to me. It's like watching somebody with a teleprompter, like, yeah. But if somebody's really talking from the heart, that says something to me. So we're here for this hour, and we might have Priscilla Rodriguez joining us. She talk about trauma. She's been at the dentist like every week, and I was just at the dentist last week, so we know how that can re-traumatize. But Denise is, but here's the deal. We meet every week and we talk about what it's like being on Earth, living everyday days, going back to your Head Start program, having a son who's institutionalized right now. All of these things. How can I acknowledge that I'm a trauma survivor and that things hurt me and things bother me and things get under my skin? And not only that, things can cause me to have a reaction with my brain, which is a trauma survivor's reaction. How can I live like that and at the same time have a good life? And so that's what we talk through every week. And even if it's the smallest thing, that's what we talk through. And a lot of times we talk through things that hurt, things that are challenges, because because people don't, those are taboos. People don't talk about those. But another taboo for some of us trauma survivors is we don't talk about the great things in our lives because we were told, well, why don't we, let me ask the people that are listening. Are you comfortable saying when you get an honor? Are you comfortable saying when something really beautiful happens in your life? Are you comfortable taking time, other people's time to talk about that? Denise, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, it's hard for us to, celebrate our own successes for real. But my Head Start program experience,
Yeah, tell
life,
us
my
about
Head
it.
Start life was, I was so fortunate because it gave me an opportunity to give myself a good childhood and to watch other children flourish in a loving, kind, enthusiastic. And the thing about Head Start is that they are always on the cutting edge of quality. If something changes in the understanding of child development, Head Start's going to fix that. They're going to come up with ideas. The smartest women in early childhood education are working for the Head Start program. you know? I mean, there's a lot of smart women at child care centers too. I'm not saying anything against them, but those workers, those people, those women mostly are trying to make a better world.
I hear what you're saying because to work at Head Start, and if folk listening, if you don't know about Head Start, it's a program that's been around for 60, 65 years, started by Sergeant Shriver. And it was about giving every child, regardless of the child's finances, the parent's status, the parent's identity, it was giving every child a chance to have a head start on growing up and on growing up well because kids growing up in privileged families, well, there might be abuse there. Those kids at least learn the language. They have somebody, maybe a nanny, but somebody's reading to them. And they have, so when they get to school, they know, their parents know they got to learn numbers, and they got to be able to spell their name and stuff like that. But some children don't have backgrounds where that's emphasized. It's about
Right. And Head Start has the resources to have developmentally appropriate puzzles for every kid in that classroom with images from their culture, from their peers' culture. You
And
know,
why
they
does
have,
that make a difference, girl? To me, it makes a huge difference. But just for somebody that's not used to working with kids, why would it make a difference? Give us an example of a puzzle that would make sense to a kid who comes from Puerto Rico and might not make sense to a kid from, a wealthy kid.
so there's kids here, in the kitchen with their mom making tortillas. That's the
Right.
puzzle. Or I'm trying to think, spaghetti on a platter or something.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah.
things that you might not be exposed to from your culture. It's if there's a kid in the classroom from a specific culture, we're going to find materials that are going to help them feel comfortable and welcome home.
That's really great. And I hear you on that. And I'm just thinking, Denise, let's talk for a moment in this moment about what if we made puzzles for traumatized little kids that were safe puzzles, that were puzzles that they would identify with because they're traumatized when they go home. What would we do what would we make in a puzzle? And I'll tell you right now, one of my puzzles would have a little kid cooking, cooking by herself,
Right,
cooking dinner. A little kid getting herself dressed for school with nobody there to help. A little kid coming home from school and cleaning the house.
right,
That's what I experienced because my mother was mentally ill. And there's a whole lot more that I wouldn't include because it'd be scary, re-triggering.
right,
But what
right.
about
But
you?
those things demonstrate that your disability or your harmful environment at home is not going, you can thrive here in this safety is,
Yes. Yeah,
you
like
know,
thank you. That's a good point because what I'm able to get myself dressed in the morning. I mean, I was a little kid. My mother did not approve of the outfit. I must have been 3. And back in the day, I don't know if you had them, but little girls wore smocked dresses. They were cute little dresses, and they had buttons down the back. Now, I don't know about the physiology of a little girl, but my mother expected me to do those buttons down the back of my dress. And it took me so long to do that. She was having her bridge club over. I might have told you this story before. She's having a bridge club over. She asked me, she says, get dressed. The bridge club is coming, or something nice. So I put on one of my little smock dresses. I go out. She's getting everything ready, the bridge club mix, the cars, everything all set up. And she's not interested in what I'm doing, but she just looks at me. And I said, Mom, here, okay? No, don't wear that dress. And I'm thinking, my little kid brain is gone.
right. You just
Oh my
went through huge frustration buttoning it.
I did this for you, Mom. I don't like to wear dresses. Come on. But I went, you know what I did? Now, this is a little 3-year-old's brain, and I think it's actually pretty creative. I went back to my space and I looked in the mirror and I said, I can't do this again. I'm not, she told me to do it fast. I can't do that. So I said, I'll just tuck the dress into my underwear, and that'll be a different look. Fashionable then. Different look. And so I walked back out, and by then some of uh, the
Women.
bridge club ladies were there, and they looked at me like, "Oh." And she said, "Get back," she was like, "Get out of here," basically. And I thought, I don't understand this. But that's an example of a competency expected of a little kid that's traumatized because the
Right.
mother was traumatized and she didn't know how to do anything, so she just told the kid, "Do it." There was no developmentally appropriate practice.
Right.
So how about you? What would you, if you were to do a puzzle, because you were the eldest of all these little kids and you're taking care of them, what kind of
Yeah.
puzzle would you make that would not be triggering to a kid who's traumatized, but would be, yeah, this is familiar to me.
Maybe friends holding hands, walking together.
Yeah.
You know,
Is that what
uh,
you did? You walked hand in hand with friends?
yeah, I think that would be a good thing to hold hands, a good puzzle.
Okay, yeah.
Showing connection, showing, support. That's
Now
what I would.
yeah, that's great because talk about safety, which is what I wanted you to keep talking about. Safety is about safe connection.
Right,
In a traumatizing environment, there was connection, but for me, it was often inappropriate, sexualized, scary, or the parentified child taking care of the alleged adults.
right.
And those were scary, but holding hands with a friend, like
Yeah, that's
skipping, yeah.
yeah. Or walking down the street, or I would do mostly demonstrating independence, like you said, puzzles.
Like what, looking back at your childhood and friends, if you don't know us, we both had traumatized little girl ships. I mean, it was not safe. And Denise had a death of her father. I had my mother being mentally ill and my father being an incester. These are scary things, but we talk about it here. And by the way, if anything gets to you and you're not comfortable, we always have water
Mhm.
right there because what is it about water, Denise? We talk about this all the time, but there's something.
It's a healing element in our scientific world. Water is healing.
And we're nurturing ourselves and we're taking a break. And the three things right there, Denise said, I said, for trauma survivors, three things we need. Healing elements like go outside, see the sun, drink some water, go for a swim, walk a dog. Healing element number two, nurture myself, take care of myself. As a child, I was not taken care of. And I never learned that that was something that was
Right.
good. And the third thing is take a break from what's going on. We're talking about tough stuff. Like I just used the word incest. Incest is a real scary word. It took me years to be able to say out loud, my father was a pedophile. And you know what? When I said that the first time, I said it to other trauma survivors. So you'd think I'd feel safe, but no, sweat pouring down. And I'm not a sweater, but sweat, red face. I mean, I was like quivering when I said that the first time. So anybody listening, if you are a trauma survivor or you love a trauma survivor, we're here to talk about what little things every day we can do. And also the other thing is, and Denise always says this, Denise, if you pick up your phone, you Google, what is it that you can Google to get help?
So you can just hit that Google microphone and say support group for incest survivors. And you will get a list of state by state what helpers, people who will hear you, believe you, and support you, and help you decide what to do next, help you decide to take a drink of water or whatever it is that you need to do next.
And back to your thing about connection, let you know that you're not alone. And there's some of these hotlines, they're warm lines. They're not hotlines. They're
Warm
warm
lines.
lines because they're not, like all crisis oriented. They are just accepting the fact that as trauma survivors, every day events can be re-triggering. And that's why we talk a lot about what's going on in the United States right now, because we live in the United States. But if you're in another country, there are all kinds of, like, oh, God bless, if you're in Iran and you're a little girl going to school, or you're in Kuwait. I was supposed to present with a woman from Kuwait. We were getting excited about our presentation about how to work with kids and adults that are traumatized. First thing she says, I can't, I got so much going on here. I can't prepare my slides. And I'm going, don't you even think about it. I'll do that. And then she says, in the end, she says, it's not safe. I can't leave my children here. She couldn't come. And then there are a bunch of people that couldn't, their flights were canceled. And because this, what we work in is the field of early care and education, people don't have thousands of dollars. So if one
Right.
flight is canceled and the only flight available is on Emirates and it's going to cost thousands of dollars, it's no way. So all these people got, so what I'm trying to say here is we talk about how we get re-traumatized. And what Denise is going to, I want to hear more about it, is like, what's the good news when you go back in to a place that you loved, where you worked for 32 years, and you see that you're doing a good thing for kids. Now, so tell us about the joy of that, because there's joy in being a trauma survivor too. It's kind of unsurpassable joy because we know what it's like to have pain. And I had a trauma therapist say to me at one time, Holly, Elisa, your capacity for feeling joy is remarkable because it is commensurate with your capacity to having gone through what you went through. I like
Yep.
that. That was empowering. So tell us more. You walk back into your program, you go there once a month. Did you see
Yeah.
any of the kids, same kids still there, or their little sisters?
No, no, they usually graduate, by year by year. Some 3-year-olds come back as 4-year-olds, some, but and
Not
in
this
fact,
year.
I know some of the kids because their parents worked with me back in the other Head Start, and
Right.
now here they are, they're students, and their moms know me, so I've known them since they were born. Yeah, some of them I do know
Cool.
for
So you went
his.
back
There is some history. Yeah,
and you knew some of them, but the thing is, well, even going back, if you don't know the kids, what do you
they're
notice?
3-year-olds and they're 4-year-olds, and they're delighted to have something novel, which by the time end of the school year, they learn all my little songs and my little props, and they make requests. I want the monkey song. Okay, next time I'll do the monkey song, or they get their favorites. But it's just it's a magical time in life if
Yes.
you're safe. It's magical thinking is beautiful at that time. When you're a adult triggered into magical thinking, it's not so great. But you do have that period of time as a child where you wake up in a whole new place. Oh, here I am. Or there is magical time in that, and you can enhance the magic by creating a safe place where you can use your imagination any way you see, any way you
Tell,
think of.
tell us this, Denise. You've worked for years and you studied child development. What is it that makes a young child's brain, and we're talking before 5 years old, basically, what is it that makes, can you help us understand what's magic about the way a child's brain works and looks at the world and takes in information?
If they still have their innocence, which if they have not been traumatized, everything is a learning opportunity, and everything could be approached with enthusiasm, and everything's a delight. I mean, you go from delight to joy to wonderful to beautiful calm. I mean, it's a magical time for that, if
And
you are
then,
not traumatized.
yeah, and even if you are traumatized,
You could have magical moments. You could.
right. And tell us about that because one of the things that came out of the ACES Adverse Childhood Experiences study is that we all know all the horrible things that'll happen to us. This disease, that disease, horrible relationships, drop out of school, addiction, blah, blah. But I wrote that article, We Are So Much More Than Our ACEs
So,
scores.
excuse me, Holly,
Yeah,
Lisa.
go.
The microphone, your microphone is like
Coming in and out?
it's
Really?
not coming in and out. It's like gorbled or warbled or something like
I'm
a
I'm in
little
my bird
static.
I'm in my bird state, girl.
Oh,
Warbling. As long as you can hear me, we're good.
I
And
am I am able to hear you.
okay, let me try to get close to the microphone and see
The volume is good. What's
if that helps.
it's it's a little bit staticky. Maybe turn off the mic and turn it back on again. Try that.
Okay, girl, let me get my glasses so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, anyway, I just wanted to say bottom line, and I'll make it a sentence, is traumatized kids can have wonder too. We defend against it because we're scared. But
Right.
I had a lot of amazing experiences as a child, particularly outside the house. Let me try my microphone here. Because every time, every spring, like right now, I'd go to the frog pond, that's what I called it, and I'd see those, they look like Jello, frog's eggs. And
Right.
I'd bring some of those home in a jar and I'd watch them grow and oh my God. And I was traumatized back home, but I could still delight in that.
Right, right. We could still find safety. Really, I felt safer outside my home
Absolutely. And why was that?
because there was no perpetrator. There was nobody sexually interested in me. Well, I mean, I didn't pay attention to them when I was outside. If you're in the house, you can feel all that vibe.
Yeah. It's my voice. Do I need to do something here?
It's
Because,
still
okay.
doing it. I don't
Oh,
know. We'll
shit.
just we'll just deal with it.
Let me do,
I can understand everything you say, but I don't,
I
but
just turned it
it's
back
just
on. Okay.
sparkly.
Well, girl, sparkly's not bad. Anyway,
All right.
look,
Yeah, let's
sweetie.
pretend it's sparkly. That's
Right.
better.
Sparkly, sparkly. Okay, so now tell us more. You went back in there and you saw these kids feeling safe and excited to learn. So tell us
Right. And
more.
and the teachers are they're not, they've created a safe space and they just help children feel safe. Natural. It's the time of the year when all the hard work has been done, and now we can just live in our safe space safely. And I don't know, I just was so reflective about that today that I really miss being that magician who
Yes.
makes that safe, who creates the safety, who facilitates the safety, who makes sure that safety is always there. It's just I miss that.
Mm.
It was a beautiful contribution to my community everywhere I lived, all over the US. It was always a beautiful contribution that I felt like I was making to the my fellow citizens
Hmm.
and to myself.
Yes. As we do this for others, we do it for ourselves.
Right.
I
It was
remind
just
myself of that. I mean, not to be codependent and like focus so much on other people that I'm neglecting myself, but as I'm giving love to others and letting that love flow through me, that's like, that's healing myself.
yeah, so I wear a shirt like for my story time. I have a uniform that I made when I first retired. It just says
Okay.
I, then there's a red heart, and then love. So love story time. And even one of the kids today
Ah,
said, I love your red heart. And I said, I wear that to spread love to all the children. Not this shirt. This is a big love. I wear that
yeah.
to spread the love on the street when I'm doing my Black Lives Matter. But for the classroom, I wear that little heart. And it's just, I don't know, magical thinking. I even remember back before I had Head Start training and experience. I had a little child care in my home, quality home care, I called it. And it's just so good and loving. And in that period of time, if you can keep children safe, they they can imagine more.
They can imagine more. And I believe too that the feeling of safety inside can stay with us. I had such a feeling of tragedy inside and of fear inside. That's what I had inside of me. That the only thing I knew to do as a child was to dissociate from my body. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going off in my imagination. But the minute I got outside, I didn't have to leave my body. The minute I
Right.
got outside, I could climb a tree and the tree would sway. And I think, God, this is a
Strong,
miracle.
right.
This tree stands tall and I'm on it and it sways. And Robert Frost said, one could do worse than be a swinger of birches. I'm going, you got it. You got it.
Hmm.
So I think that the safety that we adults help children create inside themselves in the context of other people is a feeling we can return to. What do you think about that? Even when traumatized as an adult.
Yeah, But when I see the kids looking at me in a way that I know they're safe, I know they're just sitting there enjoying and taking
Mhm.
in it. I don't know. It makes me so happy.
I'm I'm so happy for you because you are making a difference. We're all on earth to live on purpose.
Right.
What do you think your purpose was and what is it now?
It's still intent. My intention is to respect children, love children, and give them what they like. You got
Yeah,
to know what they like to give them what they like, but just give them opportunities to be the best they could be.
and that's my view of heaven on earth. When each child gets to see, I'm okay.
I'm
I'm
worthy, I'm okay,
I'm
I'm
safe.
respected. Like a lot of times, schools are set up for the convenience of the adult. Now, this
Exactly.
is more adult, more elementary school, middle school, that it's that's why I chose early childhood because it's more natural, you know, it
It is.
and it's helpful to children. Like only 1/3 of the kids do well in elementary school in that kind of structure of what it is, elementary school. It's not loving, it's not supporting. I don't know. I find it just so different.
I think you do know, and I think what we're talking about here is where are the safe spaces on earth and where are the loving spaces on earth? And childhood, because of children's innocence and capacity and desire to grow and to learn, is could be one of those safe spaces, one of those loving spaces, one of those magical spaces. It's no accident when you were talking before that I was thinking, yeah, Denise is describing the Pied Piper. What's the story of the Pied Piper and why was that with children? It wasn't
Right.
adults.
The Pied Piper just had something new, something that children could participate in and grow from and enjoy, which is, playing his pipe and marching and dancing around the community.
Right. And that everybody, almost everybody, maybe it's a Western culture thing, but almost everybody in
Anybody
West.
can dance, even if you're in a wheelchair, you can dance.
Right, right, right.
If if
I love
right,
the
if
Special Olympics when they got basketball players in wheelchairs. I mean, oh my God, it's so impressive. I also was just watching, is her name Alicia Liu, the woman that's the figure skater? She got a gold medal and
ah,
she dropped out for a while because she wasn't enjoying figure skating. And it was just like a brief thing, but she said, I can't make a mistake. I'm just always learning. I'm here to learn. And if I
right,
fall, I fall. And she said it with such authenticity that I believed her. I think if kids hear that enough, it affects them. But I also think if adults hear it enough,
right,
it can affect us. And let's get back to innocence because innocence is what gets robbed.
right.
You and I know this, and we've talked
Yeah,
about
we've
this.
talked about that a lot. That
Ooh,
what gets messed up in a abusive situation is your ability to be safe and just be.
it's not safe
So,
anymore to just be.
right, then you have to start protecting yourself
And then we
because,
become a false
which
self.
that's because there's no safety. The innocence that believes in magical safety is no longer there. It's been
And
robbed.
maybe the magic is true.
Yeah, the magic is true. I mean, I
Let's
remember
talk about that.
thinking of the songs that I used to sing right at the beginning. I looked outside my window. I mean, it's just so positive and everything's new. Everything is a color. It's all good,
Would
it's
you
it
like to swing on a star, carry
carry
moonbeams
moonbeams
home in
home
a
in a jar.
jar?
It's just it's a good time in life to even when you're in a crappy world with a lousy politics going on in your country, you can still sing those songs of This is the song that doesn't
Yeah,
end.
and right.
It
I
just
love
goes
that.
on. I mean, all of that is so delightful.
Yes. Who let
And
the dogs out? Ooh, ooh,
who,
ooh, ooh.
who.
And
And
because
it's important for humanity.
oh damn yeah, and that's why I think also this program matters, and this is why I do the work that I do, working with adults, because I have just gotten convinced that inside every adult, that little innocent child is still there.
It
And I
is.
I know because I love on people, and I love when people love on me. And what's going on is I just look and see it's not just the best. It's not like I'm saying, well, this person is only what the ideal. No, I'm looking at the person and seeing this person got value. And my mother she was mentally ill. I mean, when you're psychotic, you're scary. She was scary to me. But she also it was like there was deep inside of her an innocence. And the way I knew that was every
Right.
spring, and here it is spring, I would say to my mother, Mom, do a cartwheel for me. Now, I couldn't do cartwheels and I couldn't do backwards dives because I think of the sexual abuse that I had. I wasn't comfortable getting my body into an unsafe position and to go to bend
Right.
over like that, no. And to go back like that, no. But my
Right.
mother, who was also a sexual abuse survivor, she could do cartwheels. And so every spring I'd say, Mom, do it. Will you do it? Come on, Mom, come on. And I'd be really honored because I really wanted to see her. Why? Not just to see the cartwheel. That was nice. But
Right.
because my mother was so innocent and happy. When she
Right.
came up from that cartwheel, I would see the real mother. Oh
Right.
yeah. And she would only do it for me. And neither of my sisters had any sense of that. But in my book, happiness is running through the streets to find you. My mother had happiness running through the backyard to find her, even though she was depressed and she
Right.
could do
She
that
had that
cartwheel.
child there saying, "Come on, Ma, do
Yeah.
it."
And the child in her could do it. And then
Right.
we could be mother and child together, or maybe child to child, but whatever it was, we'd be both smiling. And when I see adult to adults and they're smiling and they're connected, there it is. Safety, connection, wonder. That's
Yeah.
what we all need and we've got inside of us, right?
Right. We do have it. We all have it. And we
I
have to
mean,
stimulate it to keep it
and you
going.
do it a
And
lot. Like just this last week, what's one of the things you did, or just recently, what's one of the things you did to recreate an environment
it's,
where wonder could live?
well, I did go to a swimming pool party and
Ah,
got myself in the pool and other people got in the pool then too. So, that's a especially with adults to feel safe in a bathing suit around other
ah.
adults.
How did you tell me about your bathing suit? How did you
Uh,
suit you?
well, one person thought it looked like a what do you call the scuba diving outfit, but it's called a tomboy. It's
Hmm?
very
Simple
discreetly
cover up.
covered up. Yeah, there's little shorts and there's no peplum or anything lacy. It's just like a full-on zip up, well covered bathing suit. But I
Yeah.
bought it like, 7 years ago or something. Well, I think I bought it right before COVID. How many years
Ah,
ago was that now?
oh, 7, 6, 7, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah, six.
so my body has changed a little bit in that time, and I haven't really put it on. I bought it in order for to do kayaking at
Oh,
when
yeah.
I was living at the cottage, my brother's cottage, and there's a metro park right there where I could go kayaking. So I that's what I bought the bathing suit for. It's not really a swimming suit, it was a athletic type
Yeah, I got it.
situation.
I know what
And
you're talking about.
and I
Yeah.
wear a big tank top over it. But and then as I get into the water, I'll take the tank top off and so I mean it's hard to feel safe with adults too, I mean it takes effort and my belly's a little bit bigger now. Well, quite a bit bigger. But I
And the,
just
and,
let
and the,
myself
the
be safe.
girls are hanging down a lot
Yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah. They're not perky, and I mean, well, it's somewhat perky, but
And I got cellulite on my hips, all my up my thighs are like really cellulite. And I'm
but that
talking
was the
about this.
challenge, that was the challenge for my week is to make myself safe enough to feel safe inside to go in a pool around, adults.
Good for you. And what happened inside of you? What did you say to yourself, if you can
I,
remember?
but I just said, you know what? You can do it. The same thing I say to children. You can do
Yes.
hard things. You know how to do, you got the bathing suit, put it on. You got the shirt, put it on. And then go into the party with as much confidence as I could muster up. I mean, I'm able to muster that up for myself because I've had so much practice mustering it up for the children that I work with.
Yeah. Was this all women or were there men there too? Was it all
No,
women?
all women. Yeah, all women.
Yeah.
Later, a man came uh, after most everybody, the party was almost over, and he's a celebrity in my community. He owns uh, he owns this Mr. G's ice cream barn,
Oh, yeah,
and
I
he's
like
been
him
there forever.
already.
And everybody knows him, and I was like so happy. First, I met his wife, and she's a celebrity too. They both work there, and it's only open, a few months out of the year, and so it was really fun being with them too. So there was one man, but he
Good.
came later.
Well, I just want to go, let's just go right into this moment with the bathing suit because I have hanging on my doorway to my bedroom. I have two bathing suits, and they're not like bathing suits I ever wore before. I always like the simple, just get me in the water, don't let the bathing suit interfere with my playing or my
Right,
swimming. But then it became clear to me that bathing suits were seen as sexual. I mean, I had a two-piece bathing suit because I wanted to have the freedom I'm like doing all this stuff in the water. And then I realized, uh-oh, this is people looking at me because I got a
right,
two-piece bathing suit. But I let it go because I didn't give a sweet bit because when I was in the water, I was outside, I was free, I was playing, and you couldn't mess with me, and I could outswim you if I had to. But
right.
now what's going on? I don't feel comfortable anymore wearing one of those just regular bathing suits. In fact, I was at BJ's, which is a discount house, and I saw this a very simple, um, like my roommate in law school would have worn it. Rebecca Stanley would have worn this, and she did. Simple bathing suit, just simple straps, covered up her body. She could swim without any interference from the material. And I thought, that's Rebecca. She could wear that, but I'm not Rebecca. I don't have a Rebecca body. I've got an
Right,
80-year-old body, and it's got cellulite, and it's got saggy boobs, and it's got bigger belly than I want, and I'm working on that, but that's what I got. And I want to go swimming. Now, my preferred way when I feel really safe is to go skinny dipping
right.
because I'm free and I don't have to think about the wet clothes
But
on my
it's rare
body.
to get that safety.
It's rare, but I hunted it down for years and I really explored and I found some safe places. But I haven't, they're hard to find now. And then I used to have to walk like half an hour to get to one of these places called the Ledges in Vermont. It was beautiful. It was like a Frank Lloyd Wright setting with all of these rocks, beautiful, like not mean rocks, but soft rocks going down to the water. And I loved it. But it's a lot of anyway, I haven't been there. But what I'm trying to say here is what are these bathing suits like that I'm trying on? They are called bathing dresses because they got like it's got like a skirt,
A peplum, yeah.
a peplum. I didn't know that's what that is. I
I
wanted to
think
ask you.
that's what it's called. Like, well, usually a peplum will
Probably.
be on a blouse, I think, the bottom of a blouse, like to add a little ruffle.
Oh, interesting. I'm gonna look that. Well, we can look it up, but it's an old term, and I think it probably means what you're saying. But
It
this has
may.
got. So I'm looking at these two suits, and they're just regular on top. They certainly are not cleavage revealers, and they're not booby revealers. They're just comfortable. And then instead of having just the pants, the underpant like thing, they've got those, but covering that up is a skirt. One of them I like because the skirt has, when I move my legs, the legs can go right through. The other one
Right.
is a little bit more tight, but it's a little shorter. Anyway, I have put a lot of thought into what do I really want to buy this suit?
Right.
Because number one, it says I'm 80. Well, I am 80 and I'm not embarrassed about that. But number two, I don't like dressing for somebody else. I
Right.
dress for myself. And I'm thinking, when I put on this longer thing, I'm covering myself up. I don't want to cover myself up. But I also remember years ago, before COVID, I was in Florida and I was walking down the beach and I put on my regular, like, two-piece Land's End type bathing suit. It had top and then these, like, just, regular panty things on the bottom. And people were looking, and I thought, what's going on? So I turned to the person I was with. I said, people seem to be looking at me. What, am I missing something? And he said, well, yeah, those hands are looking a little small. And I realized what he wasn't saying, but the truth was, I had put on weight. And what used to look really good before, good because it was just the body, now has a belly.
Right.
And I've heard people make fun
And
of
a
it.
bum.
And a bomb, a gut, the butt and the gut, the butt and the gut. So I'm asking myself, do I want? It's only $20, and that's okay because at BJ's I can get things that cost like huge amounts, like for $20. So I'm thinking, do I want to have a bathing suit? And the answer is, well, I want to be able to swim. And
Right.
you're right, Denise. I can't swim in a lot of places without a bathing suit. And if I wear a regular Speedo female style, I have the butt, the gut, the boobs, the everything. And
Everything.
do I want people looking at everything? Am I
Right.
embarrassed? Well, some people would just get out there, and I've seen them with the butt, the gut, the boobs, the whole shebang, the cellulite. But is it pride, or I just don't? I don't want to. I don't want to look like that.
Right.
I don't want to. It's not that I don't. I'm okay looking how I look. That's fine with me because when I skinny
But
dip, you
if
see
you
it
want to
all.
look to the best that you possibly could with the body that you have, you know,
Right. And
which
if I
I
want
which I noticed a couple women had at this party had the bathing suit like you're talking about, very safe up here, and then
to
a little bit of
skirt thing,
not skirt, like a little ruffles or not ruffles, creases, like
okay.
crunch
Oh,
up a
right.
little bit, and then a little skirt on it
Yep.
as well. And it really, I that's probably the next type of bathing suit I'll buy as well. The one that you described with the skirt,
Yeah.
and it's got a few ridges across the belly, so the belly looks a little
Yeah.
slightly
Those are like
disguised, I guess.
they're like female tucks. They're not just tucks that are flat like like a skirt that's got tucks in it, like a
Right,
Scottish skirt. But they allow some flexibility. I guess the tough thing I haven't said is I don't want to be concerned about other people looking at me, and I'm not. When I go skinny dipping, this is me.
right, right,
But when I'm in a situation where people are not as open to bodies, I don't want people looking at parts of my body that are private to me now. If someone
right,
loves me, they don't give a sweet bippy whether I got hangy boobs or I got a butt.
right. Whether you have 7 inches or 1 inch,
They don't
it's all
care.
the same, right?
But if I'm in a mixed group and there are the women that like are in their 20s and they're looking gorgeous in the gorgeous suits, I think I'm probably going to get one of these bathing suits and have it in case I need it because swimming in the hot weather, that's what matters.
It
And
does.
it's not always possible to find a place where, number one, I don't have to wear a bathing suit, and number two, people are going to be accepting. Great thing about skinny dipping and au natural places is there people don't go there that are there to like
Right.
they
They're not
go
trying
there.
to criticize or sexualize or anything about your body. They're
It's
just there
about
to get in the cool
acceptance.
water with you.
Right. And then it doesn't matter. It's like a trauma expert friend of mine said to me, because I was talking about, if I have like, if I'm intimate with somebody, they're going to see all this stuff. And he said, Holly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I said, yeah, okay, yeah, well, I don't know. Because I'm so used to having to be a certain way to be
Right. Well, we
acceptable.
were judged and we were chosen for our abuse due to the way that we looked,
That's right.
it's because of our beauty. And, whether we thought we were beautiful or not, whoever the perpetrator was, the perp thought we were beautiful and they wanted to have that.
That's right. And the perp, the woman you sent me that does podcasts, she's so cool. She's got really curly hair. Anyway, she was talking about how that the man, yeah, it was the whole point of the podcast was that it's okay traditionally for men to have, to sleep with women that are inexperienced,
Right,
right? But it's not okay for women to have experience.
right,
That's not attractive. So you and I are little girls out there and I mean, in my case,
right,
my father, and you got guys in the neighborhood looking at you like,
right. And,
and
for a while my mom, I didn't have two parents watching me. I had
that's right.
zero parents watching me. So
Right. Me too.
that made me,
Vulnerable girl.
right, vulnerable.
I mean, I had a mother at home, but that didn't mean she was present. That didn't
Right,
mean people could do anything. She wouldn't know. She wouldn't have been able, even if they told her, she wouldn't have. I told her stuff and she just couldn't take it.
right. Here we are at 4 o'clock, just about.
Okay, we started at about seven after, so let's get
Okay.
ready to wrap. Good point.
All right.
Oh, I think I'm gonna sneeze here. So, girl, Joy. Ugh,
Achoo.
I know I
I'll
love
sneeze it
sneezing.
for you.
I was like, yeah,
Achoo.
hi. Hush, hush. So this thing about joy, what do you think? And people listening too, do you think that someone who is traumatized and who gets into a state of like defensiveness all the time, do you think we can have outright joy?
I if you're in a state of defensiveness, I think that is like a wall.
It's hard.
It's like a wall that you've created between you and anything that you want to connect with, anybody that you want to connect with. So, I mean, I think, I mean, I hope that you could feel joy if you are in the state of defensiveness, but I think you have to come out of that state to
Good
feel
point.
it,
Good
in
point.
order
Now,
to feel it
so
and not get over your defensiveness, but work with it, work with it. Try to
and
figure it out.
the defensiveness is there for a good reason,
Right.
right?
It was protecting you. It was keeping you safe. And so now you have to find safety in there, in here, in this bod, with the big belly or not. And it's still a safe body, and if
One of the pieces of research way back when Denise said that why do women put on weight? We put on weight because we want to protect our bodies. Because
right.
if somebody's looking at a gut and a butt, it's too big in their eyes, rather than this svelte little hourglass figure, they're not
Well,
going to look as much.
I got mine from sitting because I, worked for 30 some odd years diligently from early in the morning to late in the, early in the evening. And when I retired, I just decided to sit for a while. And it's been like 3 years that I have not,
Wow.
moved as much as I previously did in the classroom. The classroom is very physically demanding.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just kind of let myself go, I guess you could say. Uh, but not in that way of
Judgmental way of
patriarchal, right?
let herself go.
Right. I did let myself go in the not in the patriarchal sense, but in the self-care sense.
Yeah,
Just
you
relax.
did.
Just be safe. Just be lax. But now I have a little more extra pounds here and there that,
Mhm,
now but I have an I have a new goal. Get rid of some of that. Be
mhm,
more active. So I have started for a few months now being more active so that
mhm.
I'm not I don't need all that rest now. I've caught up with my rest quotient.
Good, good. That's so good. I'm thinking that acceptance is huge. You know, being free and being joyous is wonderful. And at the same time, it's wonderful for me as a trauma survivor to have one of the quieter virtues, which is acceptance. I still need naps. And all morning long, I was dealing with hospitals and administrators, and that about my son, and that is exhausting. And
Yeah,
that
and it's hard issues that you're dealing with too. These are
right,
deep, big, enormous sensations that are developing. It's how long? 10 weeks?
oh yeah, my son has been in a hospital in a lockdown unit for 10 weeks. And I don't say that to out him or anything. I say that my son is neurodivergent, and that happens with neurodivergent people sometimes if they don't know what to do with this person. So I have been advocating for him to have as dignified and as free a life as he can. And the
Yes,
government
you have.
has him labeled as
You've been a
severely.
wonderful parent and you have supported him weekly. All this time. When he was a kid, it was 24/7. Now you're, allowing him to have a dignified solo life, in a group home or in a situation where he's safe.
Mhm.
And but you still participate weekly.
Yes. And here's what I'm thinking, Denise, in terms of us being trauma survivors, we just had this great conversation about how we can find joy, how we can actually feel joy. And even though being defended is natural to us, we can still find joy. So when I go into these meetings and some people are safe and some people aren't, I have made this way of, I've created a path for myself where I am as honest as I can be,
Right,
straightforward truth telling. And I've used 80 years, probably the last 40 years especially, to be careful that the people who are listening, that I'm not saying something that's going to send them away.
right,
So I mean, that's not exactly safe, but it is smart. And
right.
I
And
want to
it's
say
team
that's a
building.
strength.
It's team building because you know that he cannot survive with just you.
Right.
He requires a team of people supporting him.
Mm-hmm. And they need to feel comfortable on their own. And so, yeah. So a skill that I've got now is I feel like as a trauma survivor, I can be as fully honest as just about anybody and honest without blaming or shaming. Just here are the facts. So after I visited my son last night, I thought, okay, I'm going to do this like a lawyer. I wrote the facts. This is what I observed. Nick got a haircut. Nick got shaved. Nick brushed his teeth. He looks great. And when we said to him, Nick, you look really good, he smiled. Those are facts. Why are those important? Because some people with neurodivergence don't even think twice about how they look, like what their hair.
Right.
Nick cuts his own hair. Well, somebody else cut his hair this time. He told him, this is how I like my hair, and it looks good. It's not how I would have his haircut, but it doesn't matter. What I think, he looks good, and it's him. And he got
And he
shaved.
likes it.
He likes it. That's what it's been about. So for the last 20 years, he doesn't like to spend money. So he just takes his scissors and cuts his hair. That's Nick. He's afraid of shavers, I think. He doesn't want to get hurt, so hurt himself. So he doesn't like to shave, and he's Asian, and he's got a kind of not every Asian has this, but his beard is scraggly and long. So he looked great. So that's one of the facts I reported. And I just said, you know what? If I just the facts, man, give these people the facts, then that will make a difference. And it did. And it took, Denise, you understand this, and I think listeners will too. I worked inside of myself because I had anger, I had grief, I had injustice going on. I thought, how can I just cut right through this and give people what they need to have to make decisions? And I did that. And I did go to law school for 3 years, and that's one thing I learned. But That training could have reminded me just to dissociate, just to
Right.
go off in my brain. And there's something different about that. Am I making sense, Denise? The difference between dissociating and doing the hard work of,
Right. And being right of accepting where you are,
yes,
acceptance, and
right.
stating it genuinely.
So acceptance, authenticity, safety, connection.
Yep.
We keep coming back to those on this program because that's it. We're walking each other home. As long as we've got these things, it's great. And now you're right, we do need to end. Anything from you as you look back on your beautiful time in Head Start, which were safe, human-made spaces for
Yes.
children to thrive, and for adults, the adults that work there, they grow too,
They
right?
learn and grow too. I was so happy because this one woman, also, this is my last joyful moment of this morning.
Yeah.
This woman, Lamia, she's from another country,
Mm-hmm.
Muslim, speaks a different language.
Cool.
But when she first came to my class, because we had a lot of children from her culture, so
Yeah.
we
Good.
needed her to be there to give language cues, basically.
Yeah.
And to see how today, when I was leaving the classroom, the head teacher of that classroom or the lead teacher of that classroom was absent today. And I saw
Mhm.
Lamia go in front of those students and say, okay, we're going to go outside. We need to make sure that our thing, I mean, she told them what's coming next and how we're going to do it. And I was
Yep.
so proud of her. And it gave me so much joy because I saw her, like 7 years
Develop.
ago, 8 years ago,
Yeah.
come being a foreigner in a foreign country. She was fresh here too. And, but she has a wonderful background. I really spend a lot of time talking to her. Her father was an ambassador, so she had a lot
Wow.
of really cool
Yeah.
experiences. She's a very
Wow.
bright, brilliant woman with three children of her own at home, three daughters.
Mm.
But just to see her take that
That's
confidence and step up in front of those kids and tell them this is what we're going to do. And
for one. And here's what you can expect. So you'll be safe. And
right,
here's a clear statement.
exactly, because
I
Head
love that.
Start has such solidly defined what a transition is and how to make it easier
Yes,
for children, and it makes it better for adults too. So
exactly.
there you go. But
I
I
love
don't
it.
know, I just was so proud of her, and that gave me such joy.
Girl, that's beautiful. So let's sign off and what do you want to say to folk?
Peace, people. If you want to talk with me on Facebook, I'm Denise M. Rokicki. I love to talk to you.
Thanks, Denise. I love talking with you. And I'm Holly Elisa Bruno. And I want to invite you to invite anybody else that is looking for a safe, accepting, non-bullshit space.
Yeah, once when you post this, I'm going to post this thing. I'm the link for YouTube. I'm going to send it to my one friend who mentioned she would like to
Oh,
find
good.
a
Yeah,
safe
so
place.
that's a good thing. And I'm starting to send more of these to people too. So just, we don't advertise, just put the word out that this is a
Word of
safe,
mouth.
whatever's true for you. For
Yep.
me, it's a safe space. It's with loving people. It's with people that are here to learn and grow. And it's
Right.
not
Where
about the
our
title.
emphasis is healing and wellness
You got it, honey. It's healing, wellness, self-care, and love. And it's not about titles, honey. It's not
and
about outside
connection
in.
and
It's
connection.
connection and
Because
authenticity. So
right,
you're the sweetie.
every week we
I'm not
connect,
going
and
to do this because it looks
it's
like a
good to be
past president,
dependable.
but I'll do this. Okay, guys, I'm going to sign off. Denise, thank you so much. Love
All
you.
right.
And
Thank
I
you.
will
See you next
see you
time.
next week, sweetie. Fare thee well and thanks.